Hi, this is Devamira Das with a vision to create a world full of happy families and a mission to train couples how to fight clean and establish strong, loving relationships. Today, we are going to talk about some ground rules, basic ground rules to ensure a great relationship. If we follow these basic ground rules, we can ensure, we can maybe guarantee a great, loving relationship. So we'll be discussing on 6 ground rules, and out of those 6, in this video, we'll be covering only 3. The first ground rule to establish a great relationship is that whenever a conflict escalates, take a pause, take a time out. Very important. As soon as the conflict starts escalating, immediately take a pause or a time out, and then come back for a discussion or decide on a time later on when you come back for a discussion. Very important. The second ground rule. Now, this ground rule, the first ground rule to take a pause is extremely important. That is why it is first, but it depends upon this second ground rule. The second ground rule says that the either partner has a right to bring up issues that's there, that has to be acknowledged. They can bring up issues at any point in time, that can be acknowledged. But if one of the partners is not ready to talk about it, then the other allows the freedom to not talk at that time only. The other person has the freedom to say that this is not the good time or the correct time for me to discuss this point. So let us discuss it at a later point in time. Then it is the other person's responsibility to keep up to his commitment and then discuss at a later point in time. So you should have a freedom. Rule 2 is to have the freedom to say no, not now, maybe later, but keep that commitment. Decide on a time and keep that commitment. So you both give that freedom and you both give that respect to the other, that maybe the other person is not in a mental, emotional, physical capacity to discuss it then and there itself. So ground rule 1, whenever conflict escalates, take pause, time out. Ground rule 2, please give the other person the time and the freedom to say no. And when they say no, respect it. And the person who says no, not now, we'll discuss this later, should keep his commitment, his or her commitment, and discuss at that fixed later point in time. So again, how this ground rule number 1 depends on ground rule number 2. The discussion can continue only when there is this basic freedom and respect, where you recognize that the other person and you respect that the other person can and say no, can and sometimes could say no. The tendency that I want to discuss it right now, immediately, that is not proper respect. The third one, when we start discussing, again, so there was a discussion in the first place, escalation was there, we immediately called time out, pause. Either we started after some time or decided some later time because we had that respect for the other. We could have that restraint on ourselves, our impatience to discuss it right now. And then when we come back for the discussion, at that point in time, we use proper communication skills like reflective listening and concrete speaking. Concrete speaking means speaking with respect, clarity, and purpose. So these are 3 out of the 6 important ground rules to ensure a great relationship. To know more, join my WhatsApp community, Couples Fight Clean Community. Thanks.